While I was painting here, I've been doing some work on some valve covers, just some sort of restoration work on some engine components. I had a box show up. So here is the box that showed up. It's fairly big. And so I had ordered a carbon fiber hood for the GTR. It's a Z-Tune style. It's from a company by the name of Rocketz out of British Columbia, Canada. The reason I ordered from them was because, for one, they had a sale price on the hood, so it was reasonable, but as well, hoods are terrible for absolutely gutting you for shipping. So being one province over, it was only about $180 Canadian, so like we're talking like $130 American to ship this over to my door. So that was a big plus, and that's one of the reasons that I ordered from them. So I'll just do a quick unboxing here, and we'll take a look at the hood. The box itself is super sturdy. I'd be surprised if this was damaged in any way. It's an actual real box. I'm sure it probably has quite a bit of packing material inside, so let's unbox this thing and take a look. Oh boy, this is very well packed. All right, so this hood only weighs about 30 pounds. So although it, I mean, man, box is like probably the size of 2 sheets of plywood. So, and lots of packing material. So hats off to Rocketz. My concern always is shipping damage. I think this is going to be just fine. So, all right, back at it. Yep. All right, so carbon fiber Z-tune style. Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, so it's going to be going on the GTR. We'll do some quick before and after shots of that. Hey guys, so this is where we're at with the hood install. So I do very much like this hood. The actual fit and finish when it's closed is very nice. It follows the body lines. Everything is pretty good with that situation. If you do order this hood, these studs have to be cut down because they will make contact with the body, which throws off the gaps, obviously, because the hood won't close completely. The other thing that's a bit disappointing is after trimming the hood latch out and adjusting the striker side and release side about 100 different ways, including oblonging the holes so that I can move the latch around a bunch of different ways, I realized that basically the U-shaped catch here is not far enough this way to actually latch, which is not the end of the world. So the safety catch does work. Okay, this guy here, this does work, which is important. However, I'm going to have to use hood pins. So a lot of race sanctioning bodies, if you are running a carbon fiber or FRP hood, they require a hood pin anyway. For me, I don't really like the standard hood pins, like so that being the pins that are just exposed with a wire that leads away. So what I'm going to be going with is the arrow catch pins, and so basically they're like a teardrop insert that you have to cut into the carbon fiber hood, do a little bit of cutting, it sandwiches on the carbon fiber, and then you press on the button, the little latch goes up and it unlatches the hood. I chose to get the locking ones because with the way this hood is, I'm not going to be able to use a hood release, so I am going to need a way to if I'm out at a restaurant or whatever, I need a way to lock the hood. I don't want it just to be able to be accessed by just opening the latch, these latches. So I went with the ones with the keyhole, and I've used these before. They do look very nice, except the bummer part is it's an extra bunch of work to do, and I'm going to be auguring into my $2,000 carbon fiber hood. So that is the downside, is cutting into a brand new hood, but I have no choice. these will look good. I just have to be very careful what I'm doing. You can't really make mistakes in this regard. So what I'm doing is, after I measured everything out, I realized that this was a pretty good spot for the pins. So what I'm going to use is basically a grease transfer method to be able to know where to cut into the hood. So I'm going to put a small amount of grease on the top of these pins, close the hood lightly onto the pins, and then drill where the grease marks are. So that is the plan. Okay, so I got a little bit of petroleum jelly here that I use for engine assembly and things like that. And what I'm going to do is take a little bit on my finger, just put it on the very top of the pin. Go over to the other pin. Do the same. Just basically you're making like a little pile on top. Now the idea is that when I close that hood, I'm going to have some very obvious marks. Okay, so this is extremely simple. Okay, so take the hood, put down the hood prop, make sure that I close it without twisting the hood at all. All right. Okay, so it's as simple as that. Okay, we look up here. Look at that. There's where I drill my hole. And right there. Okay, so this is very simple. So first I'm going to drill the hole, and that way I'll see exactly where the pins are coming through the hood, and then I can very delicately cut away some of the hood on the side that you see where you don't want to make a mistake. And that'll be where those arrow catch latches are bolted on. So first thing, drilling through my hood with a pilot hole. All right, so this is how you start out. And then you work your way out. Just sort of cutting as little as possible going out. I'm going to draw a sort of a template. So as well too, you need to figure out kind of what angle you want. Do you want this straight up and down? Do you want it angled a little bit to follow the body line? You know, how do you want it? So that'll take a bit of time to work out, and then I have to cut this out and recess this into the hood. All right, so a little bit at a time, and don't rush. All right, so that's it for the hood install. The arrow catch latches went in fine. Was a little bit difficult to measure. Basically I spent probably about an hour and a half measuring, making sure that they were straight, because my plan was to make them a little bit on an angle. So basically this edge of the latch is the same angle as this edge of the hood, and so that gives it a slight canted look, and I think it turned out nice. Now of course you don't want to be in a situation where you cut things wrong, so this took a very long time. Now overall, the Rocketz Z-Tune style hood, I would give it probably for quality, build quality, at least fitment, and the weave itself is fairly good. We're talking 9 out of 10. It fits the car, it fits the fenders, the body lines are correct. All of those things are good. Now the issue, if we go back to some of the problems, the bolts, which are studs that hold the corners of the hood to the car on the stock bracket, are too long, so they need to be cut down. There's no indication, there's no directions at all indicating that, so you just have to be very careful. Now having those long bolts and dropping the hood down a little bit too fast could crack the hood, so that's something that is an issue. As far as the latch, you can't use the stock latch, or at least I couldn't, and what this creates is a whole lot of extra work. Now, do I really care about adding the arrow catch latches? No. I mean, I think they look great. So that's not a big deal to me. And the safety latch itself on the hood does work. So even if these arrow catch latches fail, which they won't, the safety latch is still functioning. The hood latch itself is not functioning. So what I had to do was I had to adjust the latch down, because no matter how high I adjusted it up, it wouldn't latch, because that metal loop that feeds into the channel in the latch was not long enough. It was not far down enough. So, and it's molded into the hood. There's no way of really correcting that without major surgery, which I wasn't prepared to do. So in this case, what I did was I reverted to the arrow catch hood latches, which is fine. However, for somebody who orders this and expects it to be just plug and play, that's not going to be the case, at least not in my experience. Now, could this have been an anomaly among the Rocketz line? Maybe. Maybe every other hood is completely fine. But my experience is that no matter how much I adjusted that latch, I could not get it to latch properly. And so I had to go to those hood latches. So for somebody who's maybe not as experienced in body work, maybe they don't want to cut into a $2,000 hood that they just paid for, this is going to be a problem. For myself, it's not such a big deal. It's just extra time. So overall, I love the hood. The style on the R32 I think is really cool. I'm going to be adding some fenders that are plus 20 mil wider, and that's going to come pretty soon. And yeah, overall, pretty happy with the look. Not so happy with the install, but I'll get over it. All right, guys, thanks for checking out the video tonight. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Please hit that bell to make sure that you get updates whenever I post them. And make sure you come visit me on Instagram at Wrench Rampage. Have a good night.